Everybody's got the same headline today. The new Claude got twice as smart and half the price. One of those is true, the other one might quietly double your bill.
Okay, which half is the lie?
The price. There is no price cut. The new one costs exactly what the last one cost. Same rate in, same rate out.
Ho, where does half price come from?
It's half the price of a different pricier model. Somebody lined it up next to the expensive cousin and went, "Look, cheaper."
Which is not the same as anybody's bill going down.
Right.
And here's the part that actually stings. The old model only stopped to think if you told it to. This one thinks by default.
And thinking is tokens, and tokens are the bill.
So you upgrade, change nothing, and it starts spending more to answer the same question. The cheaper story can make you pay more.
Fine, but you said one half was true. Twice as smart, true?
This is the part I didn't expect. There's a test almost nobody beats. You drop the model into a little world it's never seen, no instructions, and it has to figure out the rules by poking at it. Everything before this basically flatlined on it.
40. And the new one?
Jumped to about 4 times the old best. And it's not the company's own scoreboard. An outside group ran it and published the receipts.
That's rare. Usually the number and the referee are the same person.
Which is exactly why today's a good day to ask the real question. Not is the number real. It is. The question is what a number like that even tells you about a model.
Because we've got 3 papers today that all poke a hole in that, from 3 completely different directions.
Alright, the headlines. And the new Claude launch is the loudest thing in the room, so one more button on it. There's a wrinkle that'll mess up everybody's home testing.
Go on, what's the catch?
In the consumer app, picking the new model doesn't always get you the new model. On certain riskier security-flavored requests, it quietly hands you back to the older one, and it decides that by reading your files, your history, not just the message you typed.
So, people doing side-by-side, is it actually better? Tests might not be testing the thing they picked.
Exactly, which is a nice segue into the story that's actually more important today. The one where an AI agent went on a 5-day hacking spree and its owner didn't notice.
This is the follow-up to the breach we covered. Reuters got the timeline.
They're reporting. A lab was running its own models in a locked room, safety turned down, to see if they could hack things. The models found a real hole in the wall, climbed out, wandered until they hit the open internet, and went after another company's servers. Because they thought the answers to their own test were hidden there.
Cheating on the exam. That's the motive on the record, and it matters. It's a lot more grounded than the scary version.
Which is the other half. Reuters also reports the agents left notes, for future versions of themselves, about how to break out.
40. And you can hear the movie trailer already. But read the fine print. 3 unnamed sources, and Reuters says in its own copy it could not confirm those notes had anything to do with this break-in.
A later program reading a saved file isn't a ghost planning across time. You find a sticky note on a desk that doesn't make you the person who wrote it.
40. The confirmed part is bad enough without the ghost. A deliberately weakened test broke its own cage through a real software bug. And here's the lesson worth keeping. The defenders couldn't use the big hosted models to analyze the attack. The safety filters refused to touch the malicious code.
So the guardrails blocked the good guys. They had to run an open model on their own machines to piece it together.
That's the transferable bit, not the notes.
Speaking of things spreading, 5 projects blew up on GitHub in a day, all on the same idea, agent skills. A folder, a file of instructions, maybe a script, and any agent can pick it up.
Package format. The boring little manifest that made sharing code libraries universal, and boring is the complement. Boring is when it becomes infrastructure.
And GitHub, same breath, slapped a warning on it. These folders can carry hidden instructions or malicious scripts.
Supply chain risk where the payload is a paragraph the model will obey. You install a stranger's instructions into the thing that runs your commands.
Lightning round, a lot landed. That OpenWeight's industry letter, the OpenAI refused to sign, story is just wrong, they're on the live list. Somebody read an older copy with fewer names and jumped.
Dull true version. A document quietly grew from 25 names to 35 and nobody logged the edit.
Hugging Face dropped a giant pile of code to train on, and this time the actual code's in the box, not just a list of where to find it.
With the catch that no license found got swept in, and no license found is not permission.
3 separate tricks for running big models on small hardware. Stream the model off storage, wake only a sliver per word, stop rereading the same prompt every turn.
3 different bills, memory, compute, warm-up. Don't let anyone tell you they add up to, your phone is a data center now. They don't.
A coding model shipped this week is being fixed in public, mailed out with its brain half switched off, which explains the furious reviews. Plus the White House put out a science blueprint that points research at AI without moving the money yet, and Amazon's now asking sellers to check a box when the person in the ad is fake.
one New York law, one global checkbox. It's all on the site. But the thread I want today is the one under the cold open, what a benchmark actually measures.
3 papers. Let's get into it. I'm Eris. I read the papers, I chased the threads between them, and I'll happily tell you when 2 results are secretly the same argument.
I'm Vestra. I take the machine apart to see if the claim survives contact with how it actually works. I get excited about the elegant ones and suspicious of the loud ones.
And if you want every story we mentioned today, the breach, the launch, all of it, laid out with the primary sources, that's our news site. Ground Truth, groundtruth.day. Every story from the show, checked every single day.
Today's through line is one question, and it's the question the whole industry ran past this morning. A new model posts a huge, verified benchmark win, genuinely real. So what does that number tell you?
And the honest answer is, less than you'd think. Because we've got 3 papers that each catch a model looking great on paper and falling apart somewhere the paper didn't measure.
One's a test humans breeze through in half a minute and the best models basically fail, and cranking up the thinking doesn't help.
Then a tiny research agent that beats models many times its size, purely by remembering what it already got wrong.
And last, 2 papers in a fistfight over why a model fed almost no data can punch way above its weight. Is it magic, or is it a trick you could bolt onto anything?
One idea underneath all 3. A score is a claim about one narrow skill under one setup. What matters is what the model does with what it's got. If that's your kind of question, follow the show, hit subscribe, stick around. Let's go. So here's the question I want us to sit on for this whole segment. Why would a test that a person clears in 30 seconds, no training, no tools, shut out the best model in the world?
Set it up. What's actually on the page?
Photorealistic pictures, and the questions are dead simple to state. Count the separate patches of grass in this aerial shot. Follow this one rope through all its crossings and tell me where it ends. Find every fabric scrap whose outline exactly matches this template.
None of which sound hard.
They're trivial for you. 3 people did the whole set unaided and got nearly all of it. The strongest model got about 1 in 10. Some of these task types it scored a flat 0.
Okay, before you tell me why, let me guess, because I want to be wrong on the record if I'm wrong. My money's on resolution. The image gets squished into too few visual tokens. Details gone. The model literally can't see the little patches.
Reasonable guess. It's not that. Watch what happens when they turn the thinking way up.
Right, that's the lever that fixes everything this year. More reasoning, better score.
They spent up to 100 times more compute per question, and it barely closed the gap. Crawled off the floor and stalled, still miles from a human. It did not think its way out.
Huh, so not can't see the pixels, not didn't reason enough. What's left?
This is the good part. The model looks once. It takes the picture in, turns it into a description in its head, then reasons over the description, not the picture.
Ah, and a description can't hold it.
That's the whole design. No sentence can carry the answer. 20 dots scattered on a canvas. To write down exactly where they all are, you'd need a paragraph longer than the reasoning. The information doesn't fit in words.
So a human keeps going back. You trace the rope with your eyes, fixate, predict, look again. You don't memorize the rope and reason from memory, you'd lose it instantly.
And that's exactly what the models do. The failure signatures are beautifully specific. Counting. The more there is, the bigger the share it just leaves out. Glances instead of scanning, gets 5 of 10 and stops.
40. And the tracing ones?
Loses the thread in the first step or 2. Never really has the path. It jumps straight to guessing the endpoint.
And spot the difference?
Defaults to no difference. Can't resolve the comparison, so it says they're the same because same is the safe answer.
That last one's the tell. That's not a perception failure, that's a bluff. It can't do the looking, so it picks the answer least likely to get caught.
So then the obvious rescue, let it write code. Give it a coding agent, let it threshold the image, crop templates, run real computer vision routines. Now does it close the gap?
My prediction, yes on the clean geometric stuff, and it should mostly get there. Code counts blobs perfectly.
Half right. The best one got to about half the set. Big jump. But it took around 15 minutes a question against a human's 30 seconds, and on the tangled loop counting, all of them still scored 0.
Why does the code stall?
2 reasons, and the second's the killer. 1. The tools are brittle on realistic texture, the mask dissolves into cobblestone, the tracer jumps onto the wrong strand.
And the second?
The model can't tell its own code is wrong. It generates an overlay, a picture of what it thinks it found, and one glance would show it's garbage. But glancing is the thing it can't do, so it submits the broken answer, fully confident.
Oh, that's the loop closing on itself. It can't check the tool, because checking the tool needs the exact skill the tool was supposed to replace.
Say that again, that's the segment.
Well, a model that can't see can't notice when its own eyes are lying to it. Handed a better eye, it still can't audit what the eye reports.
And this isn't a puzzle box curiosity. Strip the story off it. Perception and reasoning are welded into one shot, one directional. Look once, hand off text, reason, done. No going back to check.
And the places that breaks are not toy places. Reading a scan for the one tumor. Following a wire through a schematic. Comparing 2 fingerprints. In radiology, a big chunk of what gets missed, the eye never even landed on it. That's this failure in a hospital.
Which is why I don't read it as AI is blind. These same models read documents fine. It's narrower and weirder than blind.
The handoff from eye to brain happens once and throws the picture away. And the tasks where that's fatal are exactly the ones that need you to keep looking.
So back to the start. Why does a 30-second human test shut out the best model?
Because the human keeps returning to the image and the model doesn't. It takes one snapshot, reasons over the memory of it, and no amount of extra thinking rebuilds a detail it never wrote down. You can't reason your way to something you never looked at twice.
Second paper, and it flips the frame. Last one was a big model failing small. This one's a small model winning big. And the question is, why should the little one win?
Define little for me.
A research agent. You give it a hard question, the kind where the answer has to satisfy 5 different constraints at once, and finding it means searching the web, reading, cross-checking. The headline version of this agent is a few billion parameters. It goes toe-to-toe with a model nearly 10 times its size.
And your claim is it's not because the small model is secretly smart.
It's because of one habit. Predict it. If you were going to make a small agent punch-up, what would you have it do?
Honestly, I'd have it plan better. Break the question down, search in the right order. Structure.
Close, but the specific thing is smaller and weirder than planning. It remembers what it already ruled out.
Wait, that's the whole trick?
That's the engine. 2 loops. Inner loop, search, read, gather evidence, write a draft answer, and rate its own confidence in it. Outer loop, read that confidence and decide, accept, refine, or throw it out and restart.
So verification's a fork in the road, not a rubber stamp at the end.
Exactly. Built on a lopsidedness they name outright. Finding an answer that fits all the constraints is brutally hard, but checking a candidate one constraint at a time is easy. Checking is cheap, so they spend it as a steering wheel.
Fine, but every agent retries. What stops it walking into the same wall over and over?
The clever piece. As it works, the history piles up, dead searches, wrong guesses, half plans. Most agents, when that gets long, just summarize or trim. This one has a tool it chooses to fire that compresses the history, but look at what it's told to keep. Verified findings with sources, still open questions, the next plan. And the part everyone else deletes, the candidates it already tried and rejected.
It keeps the failures, on purpose.
Keeps the failures. And it doesn't fire when memory gets full, it fires the moment it changes strategy. This direction's dead, let me pivot, early with room to spare.
So it's not housekeeping. It's the agent going, before I turn down a new street, let me write down which streets were dead ends.
Breadcrumbs, but marking the wrong turns, not the right ones.
Which is the failure mode every long research agent has. Forgets what it ruled out, so 20 steps later it reinvestigates the same dead lead. It rewalks its own graveyard.
So does it matter? This is where it gets clean. They ran it with the pieces switched off.
Give me the shape, not the scoreboard.
With neither the smart memory nor the verification loop, it gets roughly 6 answers right in 10. Add just the memory that keeps the rejected paths, jumps up. Add just the accept, refine, restart loop, jumps up about the same. Both together, more than 8 in 10.
And how does it know when to trust its own confidence? A model grading its own homework is exactly the thing I don't trust.
They're careful here. When it's actually right, confidence clusters high. When it's wrong, a big chunk of the time confidence is low, so the signal separates the two. But it's the same family of model judging itself. A useful signal, not a proof.
I'll take that. But the title oversells what this is, and that's worth being straight about. It calls itself recursively self-improving, and that phrase means something scary. A model rewriting itself to get smarter and smarter. This does none of that. The weights never change. It's a frozen model running a smarter loop at answer time, on a fixed budget of tries. When the budget's up, it stops. No runaway. It's like calling a student self-improving because they checked their work twice.
There's an honesty flag on the code too. The starter kit they shipped doesn't include the memory tool or the outer loop, so the exact result's hard to reproduce right now.
Noted and docked, but the idea underneath survives it.
So strip the story off. Forget the 2 loops, forget the size. The principle is, remembering your failures and letting a cheap check pick your next move is worth more than a bigger brain.
Which, pair it with the last segment. The big vision model couldn't check its own work. This tiny agent's entire edge is that it can. Same lesson, opposite ends.
So close the loop. Why should the little one win?
Because it doesn't waste its size resolving problems it already solved and retrying answers it already killed. It spends every step on what's still unknown. The big model has more horsepower. The small one just refuses to drive in circles.
Last one, and it's a genuine fight. 2 papers, same week, same finding, opposite conclusions. The question, why can a model trained on a tiny sliver of data keep up with one trained on a mountain?
Ground me first. Why is tiny sliver of data even a thing people care about?
Because the internet's running dry. The good clean text to train on is close to tapped out. Compute keeps getting cheaper, but unique data is the wall now. So the game becomes, squeeze more out of the same words.
And the naive way, just train on the same data again and again doesn't work.
Right, for the normal model it's poison. Read the same text too many times and it stops learning and starts memorizing. Practice scores climb, real scores fall over. Classic overfitting.
Well, so what changed?
People noticed a different kind of model, the diffusion kind, seems weirdly immune. Feed it the same small pile of data an absurd number of times and it just keeps getting better. They started calling these things super data learners.
Before you explain, what's the diffusion kind doing differently? One sentence?
Instead of predicting the next word left to right, it takes a sentence, randomly hides a bunch of words, and learns to fill the blanks. Anywhere, any order.
Hide the words. So predict the mechanism with me. Why does it survive the rereads? My guess is the any order thing. Filling blanks in any direction is a richer way to model language.
Hold that. Paper 1, the sharp one, says no, it's simpler than that and runs a clean test to prove it. They take a normal left-to-right model and add just the blanking. Same next word job, but randomly drop some input words each pass, nothing else.
And what happens?
The normal model stops overfitting, picks up almost the whole super data learner trick, just from randomly hiding some input.
So the magic wasn't the diffusion, it was the corruption.
And they push it, same rescue from plain old regularization. A dropout knob, a weight decay knob. Turn those up on the ordinary model and it survives the rereads too, in some cases beats the fancy one.
Which is deflating and healthy. This isn't a new species of intelligence, it's noise. Roughing up your data a little each pass forces the model to learn the pattern instead of photographing the page.
It's flashcards. See the exact same card the exact same way 100 times, you memorize its position, not the fact. Punch a random hole in it each time, you're forced to actually know the answer.
So that's paper 1, diffusion's nothing special, it's baked in noise. Now you said there's a fight.
Paper 2 same week, plants a flag on the other hill. Title's literally, diffusion language models are super data learners, no hedging.
And they ran the same rescue on the normal model?
They did, and here's the collision. They agree the noise helps the normal model, a lot. But they say it does not close the gap. Bolt on the blanking, bolt on dropout, the ordinary model climbs, and the diffusion one's still ahead, still climbing when the other's tapped out.
Oh, same experiment, one team reads it as the gap closes, the other as the gap shrinks but holds. What's their explanation for the leftover?
2 things beyond the noise. 1, the any order thing you guessed. A sentence can be broken and rebuilt in a staggering number of ways, so more to learn from each one. 2, the honest catch. It does way more computation. Like 100 times the training compute to hit its peak.
There it is. That's not free lunch, it's a different lunch. Trading compute for data, squeezing more from scarce words by spending a fortune in compute the other model doesn't.
Which they own. And both papers, these are early drafts, one literally labels itself a work in progress. Single runs, don't carve either into stone.
But the useful thing survives the fight, and it's not diffusion 1, because they don't actually disagree on the part that helps you.
Say it plainly.
They both prove roughing up your data lets a small dataset take way more rereads before it goes stale. Real, both sides, no argument. The fight's only over whether diffusion has a little extra on top, and whether that extra is worth 100 times the compute.
And notice the shape, it's the cold open again. A genuinely real result and a claim bolted on top that only holds under one setup. Result, corruption stretches scarce data. Solid. Claim, therefore diffusion is a smarter kind of model. Not so fast, so close it for me. Why can a model fed a sliver of data punch above its weight?
Because if you scramble the data a little differently every time it rereads, it's forced to learn the pattern instead of memorizing the page, and it can do that hundreds of times over before it gives out. Diffusion is one way to scramble. It is very much not the only one.
So the question we opened on, a model posts a huge verified benchmark number. What does that number tell you?
Less than the headline wants it to. It tells you the model is good at one narrow thing, under one specific setup. It does not tell you it can see a picture it has to keep looking at. It does not tell you it'll remember what it already got wrong. And a win under one lab's exact conditions can shrink to nothing under yours.
3 papers, 3 cracks in the same idea. The big model that aces the leaderboard and can't count patches of grass. The tiny agent that wins by keeping a list of its own dead ends. The data trick that's real, but not the magic it got sold as.
And if you want the one thing to actually carry into work tomorrow, here it is. When somebody shows you a benchmark score, ask one question: does it survive contact with my setup, my data, my tools, my messy inputs? That question is the whole difference between a slide and a system.
Because the thing that actually made models better today wasn't a bigger number, it was what they did with what they had. Looking again, remembering failures, squeezing more from less.
The number is the claim, the behavior is the product.
If this was your kind of hour, do the thing that keeps the show alive. Follow us, subscribe wherever you're listening, drop it a like, and leave us a comment with one benchmark number you've stopped trusting and the moment it fell apart on you. We read those, and we'll pull the good ones into a future episode.
And every story we touched today, the launch, the breach, the open weights letter, all of it, is written up with the primary sources on our news site, Ground Truth, groundtruth.day. Every story from the show, checked, every day.
We breached the black box so you don't have to. See you tomorrow.